Hi there, Heather Steves here, and today I'm going to share with you the first page inside my new journal made with the Journal Romance Special Kit from David. So I had watched a few videos on how to make circles with watercolors, so I thought I would give it a try. So all I did was I added some watercolor to the edge of this little tiny plastic cup, and now I'm just pulling that paint into the center with just some clear water on my brush. So I do think it might have worked a little bit better had I had a bigger brush, but it's still working. And one of the key things to try and remember is to try and keep a clear spot somewhere in the center to just try and make it look more like a bubble, so that that's like the piece of light that's reflecting off of it. So I went ahead and started again and again. I'm just pulling some of these different colors, some blues and purples off of my watercolors, and I'm just adding those and then pulling them into the center. I did find with this one that I had put a little bit too much of the watercolor on there, and I needed to remove a bit of it, so I just dabbed it with a paper towel, and then that helped, and then it lightened it up a lot. So as I mentioned, I am using the special kit from David, the Journal Romance set. So you see here, these are just my pages that are going to go into my journal. So my previous video, I created the actual journal. And then what I'm doing now is I'm going to create an inset for each month for the Journal Together 2024 prompts. So this first prompt, which is January, is watercolor. So that's why I decided to give this a go and see if I could make these little circle bubbles with watercolor. And I'm actually pretty happy with how they came out. They were pretty simple to do and a lot of fun. As I made these larger ones, I thought I need to mix in some smaller ones. So you're going to see me actually using a few different things. So I started with the bottom of this cup. It worked okay, but the edge was a little bit flatter. So maybe not quite as nice as it could have worked, but I made do. And then I also had that cap off of a spray bottle, and I used that as well for the little tiny ones. It was a lot of fun to do. The other thing I should point out is when I mentioned about the Journal Romance Special Kit, these pages are cut with the matte layer that comes with that kit. So they will go onto the book, and they will just have a little bit of a border around them. So as I finish up adding some more circles, I'll just let you enjoy this funky music that I've added, or you can go ahead and skip forward a minute and see the next step. So I wanted to add some splatter to these pages. So I grabbed this little splatter brush that I had purchased recently, and I just added some really thin watercolor to this little palette, and I just started to splatter a couple of the same colors that I'd already used all around my page. It just adds some more interest to the page and makes it look much nicer. So here's my little journal that I made, and now all I have to do is just attach these pages into that journal. One thing to note is the matte layer die, it comes just facing like the one way, so I had to actually reverse the paper once I cut it so that it matched the opposite side. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but hopefully you understand. And then I just cut out some of these flower dies using that same set on some black cardstock, just to add those on the page, just to give it a little bit of an interest. So as I finish attaching all of those flowers, you'll notice the little tag off to the side with my January Watercolour prompt on there. I cut that using one of the dies from the set, and then I just put a little eyelet in it. I also cut this little tab out for the edge of the page, so I'm going to do one of those for each month. I ended up deciding I didn't actually like that tag that I had done, so I just set it aside, and I grabbed this little die cut that I had in my black cardstock scraps, and I'm just testing out some colors of gel pens that I have to see which one that I like the best. So I'm still not sure about this other die cut, so I'm just checking a couple of things, and then I thought I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to move on and put this little tab onto the edge of my page. So once that was attached, I decided that I would just go ahead and use this little frame and die set from the original ATC special, and I stamped it onto some black cardstock, but I realized that I needed to stamp it a couple of times just to get a really good clear image here, so that's what I did with my stamping platform. And once I was happy with how that looked, then I ran it through the die cutting machine, and then I was able to write my actual monthly prompt onto it. And now my page is done. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and have yourself a wonderful day.